You may have heard of vibe coding. It's my understanding that it's a term to describe people that delegate their programming to an LLM. Why I'm not using it yet? There's a couple reasons. While I am slightly concerned about the legality and morality of using AI trained from questionable sources, I mean, if it's trained in a good way, then that's okay, but to generate intellectual property that they have clearly no defined owner to, either mine or my clients, depending on the situation, that is only a small part of why I've not jumped on the bandwagon quite yet. So far, I just have not been that impressed with it. I have used AI quite a bit at this point. I've tried using LLMs for things like even landing pages and front-end stuff, bash scripts. I've tested having LLMs write terraform to see how secure my job is. Spoiler, it's safe for now. What you have to remember about an LLM is that it's a parrot. You feed it Mary had a little, and it knows the next word out of its mouth is little lamb. But it doesn't know why. It has little knowledge about the real world. It can only predict the next character in a sentence based on inputs passed into the neural network. This is a fairly linear process, basically a one-dimensional thinking. Well, I designed something for AWS. It's not 1D, 2D, or 3D, but closer to 4D. It's a living system with a /heartbeat and all the information that flows in and out, varying volumes and speeds. There are millions of requests per hour getting routed in dozens of different ways to hundreds of different pieces of hardware based on thousands of rules programmed into code. To be honest, I struggle to convey my designs to other software engineers at times, much less via a one-dimensional series of characters, a prompt, to an LLM. That's particularly why I created the animated network diagramming tool. You can see more about that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/schematical. When I recently went nuclear for a client and started slinging code for them, I went hands-on instead of advisory. I had to take into consideration a lot of variables at once that needed to be accounted for. The code needed to take into account very sophisticated things and make them simple. So simple that a junior dev can maintain the system once it's done. And I went back to strictly advisory, no more coding. While at the same time being incredibly scalable and cost efficient. There's a lot that goes into designing systems of this magnitude. More than I think current LLMs are capable of. At least consumer grade LLMs I have access to. Now that's not to say they won't be soon, but we're not there yet as far as I can tell. Am I saying I will never use LLMs to design highly scalable infrastructure? No, it's just not there today. LLMs may be the technology that puts me out of a job someday, but not quite yet. Perhaps a classifier or a GAN might be more suited as well, but not an LLM. Honestly, I can see a GAN being pretty effective at this in the future. Also, to be clear, I'm not looking down my nose at people that use AI to assist them in their coding. That would be like old school programmers looking down at me for using autocomplete back in 2013 or whatever. Knock yourself out. But make sure you 100% know what's happening, all right, before you push it to production. If you push it to production, you are responsible for that code. Even if you had an LLM write it, you are responsible. With that said, question for you, how is AI augmenting the way you spin up production infrastructure or write code? I'd love to hear about it. With that said, I'm Matt with Schematical, and I hope you like this Batman meme. Cheers.